Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving right into a story that honestly transcends sports. We're looking at the ultimate hero's journey, the immense, almost suffocating burden of greatness placed on the shoulders of one man, Lionel Messi. For over a decade, the entire world watched him do literally impossible things with a football. Yet, for the longest time, the ultimate prize and that undisputed title of greatest of all time just seemed to slip right through his fingers. So today, we're going to break down exactly what it took for Messi to complete his ultimate quest. To really appreciate the triumph, we have to start with the sheer weight of the criticism he dealt with. Fraud. I know, it sounds absolutely absurd today, right? But for years, this was a very real, incredibly loud narrative. Despite his undeniable, otherworldly talent at the club level, his harshest critics branded him an international failure. They pointed out that on the biggest stages for his country, he would somehow always falter. It is a brutal reality to wake up to when you're widely considered the most talented player breathing. Part 1. The Prodigy's Heavy Crown. Those massive expectations? They started incredibly early. By the summer of 2008, a young Lionel Messi goes to Beijing and helps secure an Olympic gold medal for Argentina. Boom, heavy crown instantly placed on his head. But right from the jump, he was haunted by the ghost of Diego Maradona. Back in 1986, Maradona led Argentina to World Cup glory, right? And he was this fiery, chest-thumping, highly vocal leader who just commanded the pitch. Messi, on the other hand, had a notoriously quiet demeanor. He led with the ball at his feet, not his voice. But in Argentina, if you wear that legendary number 10 shirt, you aren't just expected to be great, you are expected to be Maradona. And because that World Cup trophy eluded him, people constantly questioned if he truly cared about his country as much as his predecessor did. Which brings us to Part 2, the international curse. Domestically, playing for Barcelona, the guy was untouchable. He's breaking records, scoring wonder goals, sweeping up trophies in this beautiful, flowing, stress-free environment. But the second he put on that blue and white Argentina shirt, man, things changed. An agonizing sequence of events completely cemented this cursed narrative. In 2010, they suffer a crushing 4-0 exit against Germany. Then, the ultimate heartbreak in 2014, Messi drags his team all the way to the World Cup final, only to lose to Germany again on a late Mario Götze goal. He was so incredibly close. And if that wasn't enough, skip ahead to 2016. The Copa America final goes to penalties, and Messi himself misses a crucial spot kick, resulting in yet another devastating final defeat. I mean, that string of big losses is almost unimaginable. The emotional toll of this timeline was just absolute devastation. After that 2016 Copa America loss, Messi broke. He famously announced his retirement from international football, saying, "I believe the decision I was taking was forever." He was totally demoralized by the criticism, the pressure, the agonizing near misses. He honestly felt like he was the problem, stating that no matter the sacrifice, the dream just kept disappearing. It was a universally heartbreaking moment for global football. And of course, during this incredibly dark period, the critics only grew louder. The whole fraud allegation basically centered around two main arguments. First, that he lacked the fiery personality to drag his team to a trophy when things got tough. And second, that he was merely a product of his environment at Barcelona. Critics love to argue that without legendary teammates like Xavi and Iniesta feeding him the ball, Messi was just average. They claimed he couldn't do the dirty work or unite a fractured team. Part 3. Breaking the drought. But, as we all know, you can't keep a legendary player down forever. Messi just couldn't let his story with Argentina end in defeat, so he reverses his retirement, leading to a crucial turning point. 1. That single number represents his first major international trophy, the 2021 Copa America. Finally, against Brazil, the drought ended. The environment around the national team had totally shifted, and he was now leading a group of young players who were ready to run through a brick wall for him. The world's greatest player finally had an international trophy, and for the very first time in his career, that massive dark cloud hanging over his legacy started to part. Part 4. The Final Quest. Going into the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, Messi made it crystal clear. This would be his last World Cup. This was it, the absolute final opportunity to claim the one prize that had eluded him his entire life. The stakes were set. Can the greatest player win the greatest prize on his final try? But then, the script takes a shocking twist right out of the gate. In their very first match, a heavily favored Argentina suffers a massive, stunning defeat to Saudi Arabia. It rocked the team to its core. The critics immediately resurfaced, mocking him, asking, "Where is Messi?" The stakes were suddenly do or die.
One more mistake, and his ultimate dream would be instantly over in the group stages. From that moment on, Messi literally put the entire nation on his back. Let's trace this path. Step 1. Facing elimination against Mexico, he pulls a moment of pure magic out of nowhere, scoring a brilliant goal just to keep them alive. Step 2. A violently heated, exhausting 101-minute battle against the Netherlands that goes all the way to a penalty shootout, where Messi steps up coolly and delivers. Which brings us to Step 3. The ultimate, destiny-defining showdown in the final against the defending champions, France.
Throughout this entire tournament run, Messi wasn't just playing, he was performing at a godlike level. During that Netherlands game, he makes this no-look, physics-defying pass that left commentators completely stunned. I mean, they were literally on air saying they weren't sure they'd ever seen a better pass in the history of the sport. But beyond the magic on the pitch, he also finally silenced those leadership critics. He was vocal, he was passionate, and as his teammates noted, when Messi spoke in the locker room, everyone shut up and listened. The man was on an absolute mission.
Part 5. The undisputed GOAT.
That mission culminated in what is widely considered one of the greatest football matches ever played. In the final against France, Messi scores twice, navigating his team through this chaotic, thrilling game that eventually goes to a penalty shootout. And when Gonzalo Montiel's final penalty hit the back of the net, Lionel Messi had finally shaken hands with paradise. The ghost of 1986 put to rest. The resume was now flawlessly complete. On the club side, 12 league titles, 4 Champions Leagues. And on the individual and country side, an astonishing 7, actually, scratch that, make it 8 Ballon d'Ors, a Copa America, and finally, the World Cup. For years, critics pointed to a blank space on that country's side to argue against his greatness. Well, by winning in Qatar, Messi meticulously filled in the very last agonizing gap in his career. Which brings us to our final thought to close out this explainer. With the burden lifted, the World Cup secured, and every conceivable trophy won, we really have to ask, can there be any debate left? He conquered the critics, he conquered the crushing pressure, and ultimately, he conquered the world. It's just a remarkable testament to resilience and a legacy that will absolutely be studied for generations. Thanks so much for exploring this incredible journey with me today. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.